There are some people in your life you want to keep in touch with constantly. It could be a granny who, let's say, is fond of flower gardening, or your non-stop running and jumping kids, or maybe someone else who just forgets to charge his or her smartphone, or drops it into sand or water and does things like that. Anyway, such device-unfriendly users do not need, maybe want if we are talking about kids, but surely not need any flagship smartphone. But they still need to stay in touch. In this case, perhaps you will need some information about budget-friendly models, and we are going to give you this information. This is Karbonn Lion, and we are going to talk about it. Have you ever heard about this brand before? Alright, Karbonn is headquartered in India. It cooperates closely with some Chinese producers, like for instance Coolbet or Qbot. The latter produce the finished models, and Karbonn just brands them, adjusts to definite marketing demands, and provides customers with the after-sales service. The entire Karbonn range numbers several dozens of various devices, from the low-price level gadgets to the brand flagships. And the Karbonn Lion is being marketed just as people's gadget. The company says that in India, the Lion model has long got this well-deserved title. There goes it, People's Lion. How do you like its look? Don't expect a cutting-edge design from low-budget devices. This very model is an ordinary smartphone. As a matter of fact, it almost completely copies Samsung's original features, or it's better to say Samsung's older successful features. Now let's talk about thickness and weight. First, low-cost smartphones are usually somewhat plump, and they are often, although not always, heavy. The same is true of our 140 grams weight chubby gadget. At the same time, among low-budget models, one can find a smartphone featuring a pretty good build. And again, the same is true of our Lion, because however named, it is backed by Samsung's outstanding ideas. Just got myself thinking that while flagships testing, we did not pay much attention to the quality of the phone speakers. But this time, we first of all want this low-cost device to be a reliable phone call supporting facility, so the matter of its speaker quality is of crucial importance. The Karbonn Lion ensures a fairly good hearing. You can hear and be heard fine. There is an excellent volume allowance, so you will experience no problem with this feature. Also note that this is a dual SIM model. Nothing out of common, of course. However, this feature improves Lion's attractiveness. Usually, the internal storage on most low-cost smartphones is relatively small. Luckily, the Lion comes with a 32GB micro SD slot. However, it is not that great nowadays. By comparison, the flagships already support 128GB micro SD cards. But most people think little of this matter, actually, as well as of the fact that the Karbonn Lion does not support 4G. We should admit that Karbonn Lion is trying its hardest to be attractive to the potential users. I cannot tell about you, but it makes me wonder what comes next. The low-cost models are always powered by the mobile OS older versions. It's an obvious disadvantage for the advanced users. The Karbonn Lion is no exception for this matter. It is powered by Android 4.2. Well, yes, KitKat, the most up-to-date Android version, is somewhat faster, more user-friendly, and comes with a number of exciting features. But again, there is no considerable difference between two versions. At the same time, there are some other aspects that should be considered, like the sensor quality and a number and type of apps you are going to use. The user comfort depends on these matters as well. So the performance of the flagships is better by far. Although unlike many other low-budget smartphones, the Karbonn Lion shows good performance, close to that of mid-level devices. So you will enjoy pretty smooth sliding between screens, for instance. Another thing is tapping. Be ready to tap at least twice to start a chosen app. Let me tell you that this is a common feature of all affordable models, regardless of their brand. But many general users can easily accept this peculiarity, especially if they usually use not more than one app per day. Actually, currently, all producers tend to go with the times and to implement the innovations, and those being out of keeping with the up-to-date requirements will become out of business. So the models with the equal price tags have almost the same set of the key features. As for the budget-friendly smartphones, they come with the MTK dual-core processor. It is quite capable of supporting any app along with mouse games. But for all that, you will hardly meet a true gamer using a budget-friendly gadget. We can give reasons for that. First, the coolest games will surely fail to run on such models. But even those that will not will suffer a poor graphic performance caused not just by GPU capability, but also by resolution and display technology level. Frankly speaking, not only gamers, but all other users would appreciate having higher picture quality. So Lion's 4.5 inches display resolution is 854 by 480. It's quite sufficient for the ordinary apps, but any moving image will remind you that you are using a low-cost device. So do not count on enjoyable YouTube surfing or movies watching. Plus, Karbonn Lion's TFT display will not allow you to see images clearly in the sun. Usually the screens, along with the cameras actually, reveal a marked difference between high-priced and low-cost devices. It is somewhat awkward to say, but the Karbonn Lion is equipped with 2-megapixel rear camera and 0.2-megapixel front camera. The phones like Karbonn Lion are not the ones to have great many admirers. You will not pay attention to them if you are the advanced user making maximal use of your smartphone's features. But if you are looking for a low-cost device to make and receive calls and maybe look through email messages, you might just as well consider this budget-friendly offer. Your granny will love it.